That's what I thought. So welcome everybody. Welcome to this Saturday. It's the, what is it, 14th, 15th of June in 2024. And believe it or not, here's a bit of trivia for you all. We are 5 days away from the longest day of 2024. After that, the sun will start setting earlier. It is crazy. What has happened to this year? I have no idea. So, Julie, do you want to get started?
Yeah, I'll just say welcome to our managers and above meeting. This is a leadership meeting training, and welcome everybody. But we have something really important. Oh, I'm Julie Diebendale. Sorry, we're executive directors with LifeWave, and I'm very impressed and very happy to announce that Stephanie Lomax is with us, and she's our new director. She has made that rank this week. I knew Stephanie a little bit before we kind of got into LifeWave, and she's just a tireless worker, and she just loves the patches. And I love to see the fact that she's reached director. It's her goal. So congratulations, Stephanie. And I was just wondering, Stephanie, if you'd like to give us a little bit of a background on you, about what you did before you came into the LifeWave world.
Sure. Well, thank you, Julie. I'm so happy to be here. I was before I got into LifeWave, I had a very long career in information technology, basically working for software companies and consulting companies, and that was my career. I grew up in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, it's a technology hub, and a lot of people go into that industry. So it was great. I had a career that was, I was in sales, management, customer success, always on the front lines with customers. And my jobs always involved networking and also building partnerships. So I'm, always been very comfortable approaching people and networking. So I have a pretty large network. So Julie introduced me to the patches a year and a half ago, and I never looked back. I remember very clearly, Julie, when you said that the patches had changed your life, and I said, wow, that's a really powerful statement. So I started wearing the patches, and they were life changers for me as well. And I immediately started sharing. First, I went to my network, and then after about a year, you're not really going out to your close network anymore. You're reaching out to people you haven't talked to in 30 or 40 years. It can be a little awkward. So, so I actually started working at sporting events and patching people with some patches during their events: tennis, softball, and pickleball. And that really helped me to grow my business to this point today.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I know, because you've been very busy, because we've been talking, and you're like, I'm off to another event, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So it's been awesome. What just to give us some just for other people that are watching this, what got you interested in LifeWave in the beginning? Like, why did you come into the?
I love the fact that the patches were natural, so to speak, that we weren't, we're not putting drugs into our body. It's really just the reflection of infrared light. And, to be able to enable your body to heal itself through something that is so natural, I really liked that idea. And then the fact that, Julie, you were using the patches successfully, as well as some of our tennis colleagues who play in tournaments. There were lots of great testimonials. So I thought, why not? And just LifeWave, I really like the company. After going to the annual conference last year and some other trainings, it's just a really great group of people. David Schmidt is a brilliant inventor, and I also love the fact that he's a humanitarian and he gives back to people.
Oh yes, it is wonderful. That's great. So if you had some advice for somebody who was just starting out, is a mini Stephanie, right? So they're just coming in. What would you say? Just one or 2 points, something that they should be aware of, do?
Yeah, I think the way that you kind of promote the patches or share, really the way they're, and I don't want to use the word sold, but people buy into the concept or whatever. It's really by the enthusiasm of the distributors. You know, if you're wearing the patch and it's successful for you, people can feel and see the enthusiasm and the energy that you bring, and it's very contagious. So I think that that's very helpful. A lot of people told me that they tried the patches because they could see that they worked for me, and they really trusted me, and they wanted to, you know, see if they could have great results from the patches as well.
Right. Wow. What a great answer. Fantastic. Oh, I love it because you had an experience early on. I remember when you first came in and you were like, I'm just going to wait and see. And then I think you had an experience pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Right.
actually, I started feeling better on the first day that I wore the patch. So I was one of those one patch wonders, you know? So I was fortunate that I remember I was going to be playing tennis with a friend that afternoon. I started wearing the patch in the morning. I had a stiff lower back from sitting on conference calls. This was for my old job. And I thought, oh boy, my back's going to be stiff this afternoon. And it wasn't. So that was the first indication that the patch was working.
Oh, that's great. So just lastly, have you set a new goal? Or yeah,
Senior director.
senior director. Awesome. I'll write it down.
So, and I, you know, one other thing I'd like to share is, you know, it can be a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Let's be honest. You know, some people they're on the fast track. Maybe they get to manager and director very, very quickly. I got to manager quickly. Director took longer, you know, because you need to nurture and grow managers on each side of your organization. And there were times when I wasn't sure if I could stick with it. But I think that, you know, I always wanted to stick with it, but I didn't know if it was going to be a viable kind of income stream or business for me. But it's really it's just by chance. If you just keep going, you're going to meet the right people, or the people who want to build, the people who are as enthusiastic as you are. So you just have to keep going and don't give up.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's keep watering and the plants pop up, don't they? So good on you. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Well, thank you for all your help. Julie and Knut, you've given me lots and lots of support. I mean, even driving all the way to Fort Lauderdale to present at the Lauderdale Tennis Club last year. And you guys have been great. You're very, very responsive, and I appreciate all your support.
Thank you. And I mean, you're doing that, you know, with you now that you're duplicating with the managers, because I do hear good reports as well. So about you. Well, very good result. Awesome. All right. So over to Mr. Knut.
All right, let me see. Again, well done, Stephanie. I mean, the number of conversations we've had, it's great. Now duplication begins, and now bigger cycle bonuses begins as well. And we're going to cover some of those basics as well as we go through, because this recording here as well becomes like a part of a library for new managers and new directors to come in as well, right? So I'm going to share my screen. Where we go? That's the one we want. Yes. You all see my screen here now? I hope you can.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. So we have already kind of done the introduction here. I don't know whether Julie said, I think she did, that we're LifeWave executive directors. What does that mean? It means that we are the third highest rank in the company and moving towards the second highest rank in the company, which is something called a presidential director. And we have one level above that, which is called a senior presidential director. In fact, sorry, I said corrected. There is another level above that, which is called elite senior presidential director. Not so much about that, what we're going to be talking about here now, but the notion that we're trying to do is to provide a way and a pathway forward for people to, in this business, success is measured in what we call rank ups. So in other words, when you join as a brand spanking new shining brand partner with LifeWave, you basically are a no rank. In the military, you'll be like a private. But as you begin to build out your team and you speak with people and you work with the people who introduced you or the people above them, if the person who introduced you are not active or in the trenches, there could be family things happening. Julie, do you want to do a quick, just a recap of what happened to our upline when we got going? Jules?
Our upline, the lady that signed me up, is, I'm not sure if she's a director or, anyway, she lived near me. However, we were introduced to the higher ranked person because we had extra experience and we just got going really quickly and well, compared. And so we actually work with Janet Kiefer. She's at SPD now. Back then she was I think she was an executive director. But the lady that introduced us wasn't as active as us. So it wasn't like we didn't like her or anything, but it was just handling, you know, that leadership. We just needed the leadership to help us to grow. So that's how we do. So I speak to my upline, Janet, a lot. So I mentioned that with talking with Stephanie. It's kind of just getting some direction. Just letting you know what we're doing, where we're going, you know, that sort of thing. And I find it very, very, very helpful as well, so that we can help lead others as well.
Exactly, and thank you. I mean, this old saying that I'm sure we have it here in the US as well. I mean, if you find a turtle sitting on top of a fence post, you know one thing for sure. It didn't get there on its own. And that goes with this system here as well, is to become a manager. Typically, there's a manager, director above that's helping you. Become a director is typically a director, a senior director or above that's helping you. And that is really how this business works. It's a people business. It is not a job. So the fact is that, like, for example, the person who introduced us, we're privates in the army, but she was at least a manager, maybe even a director when we got going. But she had other issues, things happening in family, whatever. And we just seek advice or took advice from a higher up in the organization where people had already achieved what we wanted to achieve. And that is the power of this. It's duplication, it's duplication, it's duplication. So here we see 3 managers in the last 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Actually, there is a 4th manager as well. We forgot to put them on. And then, of course, we had the brand spanking new director, Stephanie. Julie, who was the 4th one again?
So I just wanted to say it's the word commitment just came in and I was like, when you are committed and you're building, you know, you need somebody committed above you, helping you, basically. So that can be, I think that's a better way of putting it. So we have Kristen Neal. Kristen is the new manager. She's working right now. She's going to get onto this as soon as she can. She normally finishes at 3:30. So she's just can't be on right now. So Kristen is in her 30s and she lives in Louisville. She had a big business launch at her house last Saturday. And she actually made manager the week before that. And anyway, now she's going along. So she's very excited and she's committed to reaching the next rank. We have Robert Strommel. This is from Stephanie's team. Robert lives in Naples and he's in the pickleball. He's a pickleball director. I hope I got that right. He's not able to come on. He's got a busy pickleball business down there. However, he is in Stephanie's business. So that's great. I put Nancy on here. Nancy went manager a couple of months ago. She is also part of Stephanie's team. And Nancy is from over in Fort Lauderdale as well. It's her birthday today, so she's out celebrating. She might drop in. Congratulations, Nancy. It was because we hadn't celebrated you before. And then there is Christy Bertloft. Is that what you mean, Knut?
Yeah,
Christy was in Lisa Peach, who's from Tallahassee, in her business. And congratulations to Christy. Because she's reached the manager rank as well.
All righty. Well done, everybody. Now it's onwards and upwards. We have, where are we? We're in the middle of June, the middle of July, August. So we have 3.5 months till the end of September, which is the qualification round of if you would like to be, shall we say, walking across the stage at the LifeWave National International Convention in Dallas in the middle of October. It's an incredibly powerful event. They reckon there will be about 6,000 people present from all over the LifeWave world. So walking across stage, number one, as a brand new director, senior director, or manager, or above, you stand there and you see out, look out across a sea of faces. The music is pumping, and yeah, it is an incredible experience. So what does it mean to stay active? Because once you are a manager, if you haven't noticed, you can actually fall out of being an active manager. If you are a director, you can actually fall out of being an active manager. Active director, my bad. So the notion here is that as a manager, being the first building block in the LifeWave structure, you must at least have 110 points a month. For example, you can have 77 points from purchasing an X39 and 55 from purchasing an Eon sleeve. That in itself would qualify. Now, if there's two of you, then it's a lot easier, of course. But the other aspect here as well, there is a second way or third way that you could remain active, although you might go on a vacation and so forth. And that is if you had something called, what we don't really focus on, I'm going to run a quick video afterwards on something called a preferred customer versus having a brand partner. Because preferred customers, their purchase on a monthly basis counts towards your own personal volume. But there are some caveats on all of that. And yeah, we'll see that in a few minutes. Team activity, in other words, to stay active as a manager, you need to have at least 4 active, personally sponsored silvers or above. Excuse me. 2 in each leg, 2 or more in each leg. So again, for those silvers, they must purchase at least 55 points in the past month to remain active. I hope that makes sense. Yes, Julie.
So just going back to the personal activity, I just had a thought. You can actually purchase a maintenance pack as well. So it's like you can get 3 X39s, for example, and you can stay active for 3 months with that. And that's under the store as well. So that's another way to ensure that you're staying active.
Perfect.
Okay. And then for the team activity, that's for a manager rank that Knut was talking about, 2 active silvers in each leg. What Stephanie has just reached, she's reached up another level to directors. So she has 3 active silvers in each leg.
And
so she has a bigger business and and a manager in each leg as well.
yes.
So the managers so this is where you come into leadership, starts working at the director level.
Then as you're heading forward to, say, senior director, there are extra structural requirements that there is required for you to qualify that level. In other words, as a leader, you're showing to LifeWave that you understand the compensation plan and you want to move on and help others achieve success using this business model. And that's what we're all about, helping others. As I said before, we are an army of volunteers. So there's no way that you can crack the whip over someone's back and say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that, all of those kind of things. No. People do what they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it. But I also say the chocolate cake, if you want to make a chocolate cake, if you have all the ingredients, make sure that you put them into the bowl in the right sequence, put it in a form, and you put it in the oven at the right temperature. If you just throw all the ingredients in the form and throw it in there in the oven, you ain't going to get no chocolate cake. or it could be happenstance. It could just be pure luck that you get him in the right sequence. Anyways, check the order dates. Julie, you can take this one.
Oh, okay. So keeping your team active, AutoShip is great. If you're sponsoring somebody and you can encourage them to come on to the AutoShip because of the X39, it's 1 month of 1 month of patches for every 10 years that they've been alive. If they can get that information and they want to stay on the patches, so you can put them on an AutoShip, or you can then, you just need to follow up with them if they're not on an AutoShip. So it's just creating that little bit extra. It's a little bit more time, but you know what? You need to develop relationships with people. We're in the relationship business. We're sharing this wonderful technology. So I just put a couple of points here. So even if they are on AutoShip, you need to keep in touch with them. I have some predicated texts and things like that. So if people are going inactive, just check it. You can check it a couple of times a week. You can get it on your handset, your LifeWave login and the app, as well as on your computer. You can check the order date. You can go in and have a look. When was their last order? So are they approaching the time that they may need some more patches? So that's just something that you should know, or if you don't know, go and check that out. It's on their on your account tab. You can just tap on that, on their name, because they're your personal. Offer samples and upgrade options. So I contact people to see how they're doing. I did it today, actually. Somebody who signed up as a silver, just seeing how they're going. And, we're catching up with them tomorrow. So we're going to go and have a bite to eat. And we know, obviously we know them quite well. So I do that. I don't do that with everybody, but with these people. And, we just find out how they're doing with the patches as well. And I will have some samples because of what they've told me that they were looking for. So then I look to get some success with that, so that then they place another order during that 3 months to keep them active while they're still assessing whether they like the technology or they understand it. You have the upgrade option. So I don't actually say to people, I'm going to upgrade you unless they are active brand partners sharing. It is a bit of, what do you call it? It's business speak. So I would say to somebody who's basically shopping and having a wholesale account, I would say, I have a great offer for you. This month you can get, for $200, you can get 2 of the X39 or an X39, X49, and you get a free support patch. Support patch being an Eon or a glutathione or an SP6, etc. So that's what they do when they go from silver to gold. So that's pretty cool. So that's called an upgrade. So I would just say it's a great offer. It's $200, and they get something free. Everyone, we all love something free. So that's a good way to keep them going through that 3 months to get some more attention. Utilize resources. So we have our own website. So we've got here activate. It's actually activate these stem cells. We missed out an M there, but never mind. So we have activatethestemcells.com/what to expect. So that's something that I always put in my welcome. Like I have a welcome letter and then I have the welcome email. I just make sure that I'm repeating this so people can get the what to expect. It gives them the timeline for 6 months. So and then it's coupled with me contacting them and just talking to them about how they're feeling and what's happened to them today. We've had some awesome experiences this week from some people from last week that we got the patches on them quickly, and they were, but yeah, we were sending this out so they're learning. So I find that is very, very helpful, and it's critical in that for retention as well. And if I have to, I'll read it to them if they haven't read it. So they're just a couple of tips. I'll let Knut go with talking money.
Money. So well, number one, what are the benefits of staying active? Well, number one, the first and foremost is that you are in a position to maximize your cycle bonuses. When I say that as a manager, if you did nothing else but remained a manager and you stayed active as a manager forever and ever, the maximum you can pull out of the cycle bonuses is $1,500 a week. As a director, staying active as a director, that would mean the maximum amount of money you can pull out on the cycle bonuses is $2,500 a week. As a senior director, is $3,500. As an executive director, that's where Julie and I are, it's $7,500. As a senior presidential director, it taps out at $25,000 a week. That's ambition, that's drive, and it's just staying at it, and learning and growing as we go along. Generational income, level 4, 5, and 6 in the compensation plan gives you a unlimited generational income. When this says unlimited, it means it's unlimited in the sense that you are the captain of your ship, you're master of your own destiny. The more people you can speak with in terms of becoming brand partners and share the wellness from these patches, the more of these first, second, and third generation bonuses you are in a position to receive. As simple as that. Then the final one we have here is if you are let's say you register as a silver or as a gold, or you do come in on a diamond pack, or you upgrade to a diamond pack. When you
Or
do,
senior director.
Hmm?
Or if you're a senior director.
Thank you. If you are any of those situations, a senior director and above, or have a diamond pack, have upgraded to a diamond pack, or okay, you yourself, you're now in a position to receive an extra product introduction bonus for diamonds being registered in your own sponsorship line. So, for example, if I introduce Julie, should I be so lucky, and I'm a senior director and above, and Julie registers or upgrades to a diamond, the product introduction for that process increased to a total of $500. So if she comes in as a diamond and I am paid as a senior director, which I would be for 14 weeks if I had bought my own diamond pack, I get $500 for that registration. If that makes sense. So if you think about it, let's say $1,600 to register or upgrade to a diamond in total. You have 3 diamonds come in the next 14 weeks, and you have covered your own startup costs, pretty much, because you will also have cycle bonuses coming in. I'm not going to dwell too much about it, but it is incredibly important to stay active. The final point, which is not mentioned here, is when you are active, there is always an overage of points. They're called rollover points. So as the compensation plan works with our cycle bonuses, the ratio is a 2-to-1 ratio, 2-to-1, 660 points on one side in multiples and 330 in multiples on the other side. So let's say you had 6,600 points on one side and 3,300 points on the other side. That means that you have 10 cycle bonuses and you would have $500 being paid to you from LifeWave, $50 for each cycle bonus. However, let's say you had 10,000 points on the strong side, but only 3,300 on the other. You're now left with a few points, 3,400 points, that you cannot, so to speak, cycle. And what LifeWave does at that moment in time, it takes that 3,400 points and it puts it away in a savings account for you, inverted commas here, savings account, and it carries forward for up to a year as long as you remain active. We have seen people in our team that didn't have Autoship on. They had several 100,000 points, and they forgot to buy or purchase patches, although we reminded them. Well, if you think about it this way, if you take, say, 200,000 points and you divide it by 660, which gives you the number of cycle bonuses, and multiply by 50, that's the money that are left on the table, and it just disappeared into nothingness. Julie, you were waving your hand.
Oh, well, I was trying to mention in the generational income. Now that, for instance, Stephanie's got 2 managers on both, one on each team. So she's going to start to see a little bit of generational income coming in because of the people below the managers. So that's how you'll start to see level 1, level 2. So when people in those manager modules, when people start to duplicate downline, you'll see more generational income come through in your back office. So it's all about getting them started and then getting what we just went through, basically, so that we can roll that, and then they get an experience and they share it, and then you'll see a lot more. And that's the road to senior director then, because there's more points coming, etc.
Yeah. When we're changing to senior director level, things change a little bit. But before I go there, I'm just going to cover this. So I mentioned, say, 200,000 points, and I said 200,000 points divided by 660 multiplied by 50. There's a faster way of doing it. If you do 200,000 divided by 13.2, you'll end up at the dollar amount directly. So 13.2 is the magic number. 200,000 divided by 13.2.
Oh, 13.2.
To make it easy, if you're looking at, say, 100,000 or 132,000, take 132,000 points divided by 13.2, you get 10,000. So that's the kind of saved up amount that is sitting for you inside.
I see. Yeah.
Easy to do, but when you're speaking with someone in your team that are sitting on hundreds or thousands of points, the fear of missing out, FOMO, can become very real fast. We saw that at the National Convention 2 years ago. There was a guy who was introduced 2 years prior to that, and someone had called him up prior to the National Convention and said, and by the way, you have 3,000 people below you in your organization. It had his attention and he started building. Just so you know.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day. She doesn't have 3,000, but I told her she has 300 and she was like excited. So it's not a bad line.
Just quickly about senior directors, the qualification criteria for senior directors. I'm going to cover them very quickly, but we do have access and I'll show you some tools afterwards. It's very simple. You need to have 2 directors personally introduced. They can be, as a matter of fact, in the same team. So they could be in a strong team. But the caveat here is that you then must have an active manager in the other team. So just saying, 2 directors, you must have 2 directors. If you have 1 in each team, that's fine, no problem. If you have 2 in one team, then you must have an active manager in the other team. And the final point here is that you need to have at least what we call 10,000 points coming up on a monthly basis through your own personally introduced team. So if I introduce Julie, and anyone Julie introduces underneath there, anyone they introduce underneath there, so, and that goes on forever. Must be at least 10,000 points coming up in a month. That's something called the GVU. And speak with your uplines. In this case, for you on the call today, that will be us. Or we can point you to some stuff on the web so you can study it at your own leisure. Jules.
Just quickly, so it's 22.4. So Pro System, nice and quick, easy. The This Is It team champion this. They have 30 or more SPDs in a short period from people that are using One Patch Contact. And I know some of you are in different, you're patching in different instances, but you know, One Patch People, what we're looking for is an experience for people. So then we get an entry into the next stage. We have a 24 to 72 hour follow-up when we patch somebody. How are you doing? How are you feeling, etc. What to expect document. I'm always sending it through. And then we have the system. So, you know, more information, they can come on the Zoom. We have them on a Tuesday and Thursday nights. And we also run our own Zoom. So you can run your own. We have the presentation. You can do it for somebody. But we find that that's really where people get retention, because they've got the information. It's not too much information, but it's just enough to get them to go, well, this is worth wearing and I need to wear it for a little while, basically, is what they get.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah. So Steve Merritt, sorry, I'll just do this, Canute. Steve Merritt has a video. It runs for 7 minutes that you can put through your teams so they know, oh, how do we do this? Oh, have a look at this video. It's we're not going to play it now, I don't think, are we, Canute?
No.
Just from a time perspective. We do have the link. I think it's on our website as well. But Steve's talking about how to do it. It's very, very simple, so easy, and you want it simple so people, you know, they're not confused. If they're confused, they won't do anything. So just make it super easy.
Perfect. And I think Steve also in there says something along the lines of, we can all, this is your own business, so you can build it whichever way you want. Now, as long as it's duplicatable, or you have somewhere where you can plug people in, because most people come from a job employee mentality. So learning a new skill in their own time frame, so they can, for example, at home at night, sit there with a glass of wine and watch YouTube on, for example, how to make a list or how to invite or any other aspect in and around this business. Because one thing is the products that we have, and the other side is the business building activity. The product side of things is very much in my humble opinion, should be about 20% of your focus for anyone new. And 80% should be, well, how can I learn how to use this system? How can I learn to use this business to further what I would like to have? And every single one of you that I know is on this call and also will be listening to this is, how can I add something to my income stream? My 401k might have some holes in it. I want to get out of work. I want to free my wife and my partner from work so that they can spend time with the kids. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. And most people go, how can I? Well, the system is all laid out, and that's why it's so crucial. Getting started. I'm racing through this a little bit now. So typically we have 3 ways. Number 1, one-on-one, schedule an upline, one-on-one with your upline, or when you have someone that you'd like to introduce this to, but you are tongue-tied and you don't know what to say, speak with your upline, say, hey, this person are only available between 11:30 and 12:15 on Mondays and Wednesdays. Can we find some time and run a Zoom? They said yes, they will sit down and listen. Fantastic. Second one is a private Zoom. Find someone's living room. Either you have an upline who live next door, or you can have your upline beam in on a Zoom and you just cast that Zoom onto a TV. Everybody these days more or less have a modern TV, and you can literally hook to it wirelessly even. You don't even need a cable, and your upline can help you grow your business. Finally, it's a patch party, or what we call a launch party. Get a bunch of people together, and the lines we're using here is, I'm going to go straight here. For example, if you were to have a launch party or a patch party, go through your phone book. Who knows how to get to your place? Simple as that. Pick up the phone, say, hey, Joe, it's Knut. Guess what? I'm launching a new business. I'm starting a new business. I come across some exciting technology. I want you guys to have a look at it. Be the first people to have a look at it. Come on around. They will say, what do we need to bring? Oh, I'll do normal. Whether that is a beer, whether it's a glass of wine, or whether it's some sausages or whatever to throw on the barbecue. Well, that is it. and your upline will come with you, or we Zoom in again. If it's a big enough party, Julie and I will take the time and the expense to come up and do the presentation. We would want to meet the people who are fired up. We want to sit down, we want to shake their hand, we want to eyeball them, see how we can help them. And that is the real powerful thing about this. It's a total team effort. Julie, please.
I just want to share something because it's really apt right now. I mean, I just got a text in from another manager in our team apologizing she couldn't come on, but she just had one of her ladies who needs one more silver for manager invite her over and have a patching party. So it's like she's got a couple of friends there. She's asked her to come over, and the lady's taking some patches, and she's got the flip book. And she just texted me to say, I'm really sorry, but I'm just going over and we're having a patching party. So it is really simple. And it's not a, I find some people make it up, you know, they think, oh, it's just this big deal. It's really if they just have friends come over, and that's what's just happened. She's got friends coming over. They come over every Saturday, and she just asked her if she could come over and just show them. So it's perfect. You know, and that's how you get managers, and they develop managers. Nice and easy.
It becomes so easy. It's natural because people trust friends. People trust friends, basically. Hey, I come across something, you help me with my back, you help me with this, help me with that. A classic story, we were in Louisville last Saturday. This lady comes in. She wouldn't have been able to use a Zimmer frame or the walker down the stairs, but she was hobbling down the stairs. She came in, having to hold onto the door frame, the table, and everything. When she stood, she was standing probably about 4'5" tall, hunched over in pain. Well, it was a launch party. She got a patch on her back. Inside, I would say 10 minutes max, maybe 15, maybe even less. She was actually standing upright, and now she was 5'6". And I'll tell you, I mean, we talk about one patch wonders, and I'm actually beginning to believe that there are more one patch wonders than there are not. And when people get to see that, they're going to go, oh man, what is all of that? I want some of that. So we also learn through reading. We grow through reading. Leaders are readers. And the book recommendation this month is The Ant and the Elephant, Leadership for Thyself. The unconscious mind is way, way, way more powerful than the conscious mind. And more often than not, our conscious mind is the one that says, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, who do you think you are, etc., etc., etc. Or those are the thoughts that are going on in our head, whether it is fear or whatever. And this book deals with that. And when we grow ourselves, we move into a position where we can lead people. Julie and I are growing at the moment. We're not SPDs yet because we haven't earned the badge to be SPDs. But we're putting in the effort. We're growing every single day. We are reading, we are listening to podcasts. And Julie, what do you want to say about that quickly?
Yeah, I was saying to Knut earlier, I have a personal development plan for my life. I have something that I do every day for growth because, as Knut said, I cannot reach the next level unless I do it, because, you know, or else I would already be there if I knew. So I'm just reading, I just saw a quote in this book: without conflict, there is no growth. And the most challenging conflict is within ourselves. So it is finding out, you know, how I can improve myself. And this book covers what's going on in the subconscious as opposed to what am I consciously thinking. So it's been very, very interesting. I haven't finished it yet, but this is the one we're recommending for this cycle. Yeah.
This month of June. Yeah.
Yeah. So
as time goes by, you're going to build a library of books, and now you're in a position to lend these books and give them away to other people as well, which is really, really, really powerful. So when Julie said that, another thought sprang to mind, and that is, it is impossible to sharpen a sword without friction. It is impossible to sharpen a saw or a knife or an axe without friction. It's that simple. When someone calls us these days, more often than not, we will send them a link to where that particular answer can be found. It is not about being lazy. It's about duplication and providing access to resources in the volunteer-based business. Remember, if you have a team of 14, 1,500 people, if we were to take 10, 15, 20 minutes, even 5 minutes, every single time we got a call to explain something, and then 3 days later or 3 weeks later, we get the same call from the same person, or we get the same call from a second person, a third person, a fourth person, then we will be doing nothing else but answering the phone. This way, we're teaching duplication and we all drink from the same source. That is the power of using a duplicatable system. Some people just want to use the patches. Some people want to fast track it. Find out where they are, tap them into the system. If you don't have the skills and you don't have the knowledge, tap them into the person above you as active. It's all about the duplication. If you could duplicate yourself, I'm going to ask Tammy, if you could duplicate yourself 10 times over and you can be in 10 different locations, how much quicker would your business grow?
1,000 times.
Pretty much, yes. And that's why we're working on having duplication. When we have the duplication, and that's where the power or the income comes from this business. Imagine that you could be a songwriter and you could write one song, but you can have it recorded 10 times, 50 times, 100 times or more. Now you get paid royalties, i.e. level 4, 5, and 6, bonuses from those songs written forever. So the system is designed to grow organically, so you don't have to constantly answer the same questions. Yes. So we know what works and we know what doesn't work.
But that's all skill based. You know, there's links for skills and things. That's what we're talking about.
Okay. So I have a video here. There was we're part of Janet Kiefer's bigger team. She's a senior presidential director. We are executive directors, and she had a manager and about meeting for her bigger group last Saturday. And Barbara, Janet, Julie, and I, we were in Aruba a year and 2 months ago. And we sat down at the end of the LifeWave convention or free trip, so to speak, in Aruba, in the corner of the boardroom, and we had a big, big discussion. And in and around the concept, why do we want to really lean towards brand partners versus preferred customers? This little video will run for 5 minutes, but I think it's important that you hear this directly from her. So I might have to stop the share here for a second because I need to share my sound as well. Is this useful, everybody? I hope it is. Share sound. Here we go. Share. And I'm going to minimize that. Oh, come on now. And here she is.
That way. So as I jump back, so Barbara, are you there? Where are you?
I'm here. Yeah.
There you go. Talk a little bit about what you feel is the difference between preferred customers and brand partners. She and I turned the whole ship around last year because we got caught here.
Yeah, because in the very beginning, Janet and I were so diligent we were following the program. You know, we taught everybody we talked to, okay, you have this option and this option and this option. And then we went to this meeting in Scottsdale, and there's a whole panel of SPDs up there telling that they're doing a completely different system and that the only thing they do is enroll brand partners. They never enroll preferred customers. And we're sitting there stunned. And so we were drinking in their information and what is the benefit? Because it always has to be what's in it for them. That is a very, very important thing. So why, here we have this fabulous preferred customer program. Why would we not want to use it? And the two big things stuck out, well, three. Janet has already outline that in our compensation plan, we are really, as far as team building goes, we're not rewarded by having preferred customers. In fact, many of my new brand partners can't get the concept, well, I've enrolled 3 people, why aren't they in my legs? That's because they're preferred customers. They don't belong in your legs. Your legs are only for team building. And those legs are what's going to get you to more ranks and bigger money. And so we love our customers, but you advance by having team. And so that was one big thing. The other big thing is you're spending as much time educating a person about the patches. If you get them on the Preferred Plus program, every month they're getting new patches, different patches. It's up to you to educate that person. You're putting a lot of time into that person. Why not be putting it into a team member? And the other thing is, and this really is the biggest thing for their benefit, how does it benefit the person to come on with a package, either like a silver or gold or whatever? Because it's a commitment. How many of us have already had people who go on their subscription and then a month later they say, oh, it's really not working for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. Or they have a financial glitch and they just flat out quit and you never get them back. And whereas if they buy that 3-month package up front, it's all sitting there on their dresser. They're committed to it. And we get so many people that have spectacular results right up front. They've got the patches there to actually be sharing to other people. So it kind of has legs of its own when they commit to that package. And another thing I like to tell people is that if you're coming in on this side of our plan, we have other purchasing options because that can save you money. Because we have the kit upgrades, we have the maintenance packs, and we can teach those people how to, we can teach our new brand partners how to buy efficiently to help their business as well as to keep them qualified in our business. So we did a shift a year ago, the light bulb went on, and I have to confess I'm a little slow at it, learning the dialogue when you're talking with a person. And the other thing is, if when we outline all these different programs, well, you can do it this way, you can do it this way, and here's what you get here, and here's what you get there, and here's our loyalty program, and here's this, and you're outlining all that stuff. When people get too much detail, they never make a decision. They're very overwhelmed. And it's hard to help them, guide them to move forward. So the preferred customer program is initially on the view of it, a fabulous program, but it's important to look at all the benefits of enrolling people as silvers or golds or even higher, because it serves them as well as it serves you.
Barbara, thank you. Very, very well said. Any questions?
So I'm going to stop it there. Number 1 is time. Number 2, it's also a very, very, I saw some numbers that Janet had earlier in that presentation. Did you know that if you register a preferred customer, you're leaving 40% of all the points behind on the table? So for example, a silver pack to a brand partner is 77 points, but as an X39, an X39 as a brand partner is 77 points. An X39 to a preferred customer is 44 points. So you're leaving 40% of the points on the table. And you need points to rank up to a senior director and above. So put that in context, you need 10,000 points to be a senior director. If all you had was preferred customers, you would actually only have 6,000 points.
As opposed to 10.
Yes.
Right.
So
it means more when you're going for the bigger ranks.
yeah.
It doesn't, if you're not a manager. or what have you.
It's a good place where people don't have money or they can't afford it right then, but they're intrigued by the patches and everything else. But if you do all the work, then you're so close to actually having them at least register as a silver. If they get really desperate, register them as a bronze and upgrade them. Right? But again, we want them to be, as they say, 1 month every 10 years on the patches. And you have a 60-year-old like me, that's 6 months. If I have that commitment at least 3 months, then it's easier to roll the month for another 3 months and so forth. I'm going to quickly flick back to my little thingy-bob. I think that's the one. Share. 1 second, Tammy. I see your hand. Let me just see if I can get to the end of this.
Workman cone.
Yeah, no, it's the wrong PowerPoint. Oh, where's my PowerPoint one? Here we go.
Oh,
Ah, PowerPoint, I hate you.
now.
Here we go.
I think we're just about.
That's
Oh.
it. That was it. Ah, perfect. All right. Tammy, you have a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, when we're always talking about, the company recommends, a month for every 10 years you've been alive. Okay. Well, you and I and Julie, we've been on them, me almost 2 years, you guys 2.5 years. So how do you explain that to somebody? Other than the fact, well, I just like the way I feel, I'm going to stay on them.
Oh, easy. That's very easy. I brush my teeth twice a day. Why? Because I want to keep them. If my body is reverse engineered, reversed, it's into a younger self, repaired, restored, regenerated, whatever. The moment in time I stop, the regeneration or the reactivation, creation of new stem cells dissipates. I'm back to being 60 again, and I will now start sliding back towards being 60 with the stem cell activity of a normal 60-year-old. Why do I want that?
Right. So you start aging again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say I would have a little bit of a different take on it. If I'm encouraging people to try it for, those 5 months or 6 months, I will talk about that unless they particularly ask me, like further, because if they've seen me and I show them a picture of my face or what have you. But I found that I like people to understand that you're going to see benefits through those first few months. And then you can see what wearing the patches is going to be like, continued use. But it's in the first of 5. I had a huge experience midway through my 6 months, and longer as well. So I kind of go, I'm locked in, but I also have my patches paid for now. So
Right.
a little bit much to put on to people about that when they don't know, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
But here's the thing as well. Remember, we don't actually sell or promote anything like that. We just say, okay, 1 year for 1 month for every 10 years you've been alive. Let's say you get to 6 months and they go, how you feel? I'm feeling fantastic. You remember how you feel 6 months ago? Yes. Well, you want to revert back to that? And sometimes you had to be blunt, a little bit blunt, and go, but now you have built a rapport with them as well. So you can ask that question, say, yes, okay, I can remember I had brain fog, my back was really, really sore, my sciatic was killing me, I had whatever, what's not. And suddenly here we are 6 months later, and life is very different. And by this time, if they actually have built a manager above, the patches are paid for anyway.
Right.
So,
Stephanie?
Yeah, so I just like to add to what you all have said. One way that I describe why I'm still on the patches after 1.5 years is I find that it's a quality of life choice. So because pleasant things happen along the way, if I play tennis and I strain a muscle, normally before might have taken a week to heal or more, but now it's more like 24 hours. And I woke up with a stiff neck yesterday, put on some patches and felt a lot better. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's a choice for improved quality of daily life.
True.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a very good point. I mean, I got slapped over the wrist last week, a week before last, from my cardiologist because I was consuming somewhere in the region of 10 espressos a day. And she goes, how much? I said, yeah, probably about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day plus.
Holy shit.
If I can still, hey, I'm honest. Come on, let's be transparent. And she
I'd
goes,
be in the bathroom all day long.
no, coffee is water retention, and not retention. It's actually diuretic or whatever it's called. But
Diuretic.
long story short, anyways, is that, well, she goes, well, come on, man, literally, you do have the patches. Why don't you stick an energy enhancer or two on? We're an X39 or X49. If you need the energy, go ahead and do that. And I thought, duh, but that was just a habit. Right? So if I have a habit of drinking that sort of coffee to stay focused and whatever, what's not, then I can easily replace that. And I went cold turkey.
Yes, yes, he's turned it off, which is incredible to watch when you live with
Wow,
them. So
Yeah, I
you
went-
you weren't addicted to it. You know, he stopped it. So it's
I
kind of
wasn't addicted to it. It was my thinking pattern because I work with RT and I'm in the bowels of code and crap all day. And it's like, I have a problem. Let me go and get a cup of coffee. And then somehow, mysteriously, my subconscious mind is working while I'm standing there by the coffee machine. It's brewing and whatever, what's not. And by the time I get back to my desk, I have a solution. Yeah, so anyway.
Yeah. So just on the end note, we do have the incentives running for our team. So I did post it on Facebook and Telegram. So you're in it at the moment, Stephanie. So it's keeping active. The challenge is to stay active for this week and then 4 more weeks. So it's keeping your team active. So that we've just run through everything. And then we have a free X39 and an Eon sleeve for you. So it's $150 value. And also, for your new manager as well. So we'll send him an X39, stays active for that time.
Oh, wonderful. Yep. Thank you very
So,
much.
yeah, you can, we can talk and we can.
Just to clarify,
LifeWave does this for the awards, so I thought it was good to train,
when we say the awards in life, that means the trips to say Punta Cana or Cancun or wherever was not. So just to clarify, the week when you go director or you go manager, you go senior director, that's not counting in amongst the 4. So you hit, for example, director this week. That means that the clock starts ticking for 4 weeks, starts on Monday morning and it rolls. If you have 4 consecutive weeks in that, then yes, here comes the next 39 plus an Eon to a director, and to a manager, it's an X39 coming or an X49, one or the other. They're the same. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any questions on the end here?
Nope.
Good, great to see you all.
And
Let us know for next month, because we can, whatever, if you want something, talked about, we can certainly accommodate. One thing we did forget, are we running these brand partner introduction trainings? They're just really light for people that just come in, they're just getting started. They're not kind of, they haven't committed to anything really. They're wearing the patches. So we have, we're going to run them twice a month on a Wednesday. So it's just a real simple back office and welcome to LifeWave, basically. So if you could pass that through your team, I put it on Telegram and I put it on Facebook as well, and just see how that goes, because it's just getting people in front of something so they can see a little bit more. Simply how to order, things like that.
Okay.
Great.
All righty. And we're not covering that there. Okay, that's cool. All right, everybody, have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, you too.
Thank you very
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations again, Stephanie.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.